Get to making with jive boy station. When it hits you, yes.
Bougie Duchess here with Cindy, my co-host, and we're doing our Hot Topics live today. And so give me just a moment to pull a few things up. Here we go. Pull open the comments so that that way I'm fully aware of everything that's going on. I've done my coif. I've got my hair all done. You can see that there's a little bit of mixed in my blood. Yes, yes, yes. I've got my makeup all done. I've got my cha-cha going. And I'm ready for the hot topics today. And so the first thing on the menu of hot topics that I'd like to discuss, and what I'm going to do is does it allow me? Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. The first thing I would like to be able to do is I would like to upload a picture to show you guys some of the stuff that I'd like to talk about. Anyway, so the first of the topics that we're going to go ahead and discuss is about landlords. Now, it's an allegation that certainly I fell prey to back in the early 80s, and by the time the 90s rolled around, I was banking so much money, I would not even consider trading sex for rent of any sort. By then, those days had been long gone. But I do remember those days when I was young and struggling and desperate, and some of the landlords, they were slumlords. I personally lived in areas that were just very low rent, low income, low housing situations. Sometimes these situations were pay by the week kind of situations. I used to also do a lot of motel living. That was the life of a queen back in the day, and certainly was kind of a struggle. But what we're going to talk about today are landlords are allegedly asking for sexual favors. From tenants who can't pay the rent during the pandemic. Now, just as a matter of record and fact, that is illegal.
Hello, Moto.
That is illegal. It cannot be done. Let me, since I'm filming with the phone, I'm going to shut it down. And so I'm not bothered by incoming calls. So sorry for your bad luck. That's what's happening right now. Anyway, so absolutely illegal. And I believe that during this time here, at least in Los Angeles, I don't think that you get, it isn't a free pass, but you are at least granted, what is that? A stay of reprieve. That's for an execution, but where you if you don't have the rent, they cannot evict you, because right at the moment, even the courts are closed for those types of proceedings. So, Cindy, do you have an opinion on what's going on here with this pandemic?
Well, yeah, I'm actually looking at the article, and it says that here in California, this is very illegal, like you said.
I'm wondering, can the viewers, can you guys hear Cindy? Can you hear you from?
Can you guys hear me?
I'm hoping so. Okay, I think the mic is pretty good on the phone there, but I get a hell no. And Rebecca mentioned that she lived in a motel with 5 kids. And Rebecca says she can't hear you. So, all right. So I will convey what what Cindy is saying. Okay, so start again.
So in Chicago, it seems like there's an increase in cases for people getting harassed for, for sexual favors.
So this article stemmed from Chicago, and there's an increase in sexual harassment going on out of landlords towards tenants.
Yes.
So that's where this article came from. Is Chicago doing anything about it?
They've got reports about it, but they're investigating it right now.
Oh, okay. So it's been reported, and they're currently investigating it. Well, I hope that those investigations are, if a landlord's doing it, I hope he goes to jail. Fuck it. He just needs to be locked up and learn a little lesson there. That's just a horrible situation. You're putting people between a rock and a hard place. No pun intended by hard place.
Yeah, organizations in several states, including Hawaii and Illinois, have reported seeing an increase in sexual harassment complaints in the month of April.
So these sexual harassment complaints have been rising in Illinois and in Hawaii. Hi, Abby. Welcome. Welcome to Hot Topics. So I'm wondering if any of the viewers have ever experienced any type of harassment or asked for sexual favors in lieu of rent or for an extension of rent but still have to owe the rent. Oh, okay. Rebecca mentions that her landlord is a woman and she would tear her a new one. All right. We don't have to go into what you would tear and what is new. I happen to have a new vagina. Okay. So, but anyway, so that I think that's a very serious issue. I think there are complications to that situation. It certainly isn't a good kind of feeling when you should be able to go home and feel safe in your home. Not go home and then find out that your landlord is a predator and that just to stay where you stay at is a predatorial situation. Not cute, not nice, not friendly, not safe. Seeking safety is, I think, the primary purpose of a home. And so very good hot topic. And thanks to Cindy. Cindy provided that hot topic. Also in the news has been a very controversial situation with our fearless leader, as many people would declare. When I think of Donald Trump, I think of Boris, Natasha, Bullwinkle, and the squirrel. He's just such our cartoon, and the Russian. He's married to Natasha, and he's that little. He's oh God, it's just. It's maddening the way that I think of that situation there. And now I do honestly believe that the next topic on Hot Topics is going to be about this Lysol thing. And I'm going to tell you about a disinfectant. Disinfectant, bleach, Lysol, alcohol will kill the coronavirus on surfaces only. Only. Do not think of injecting, ingesting, drinking, any of that stuff. It is just horrendous thinking that this man. Also, there is some evidence that UV rays and lighting also may kill the coronavirus. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a scientist. I don't know about any of this evidence, although I'm not one to suggest eating or ingesting anything. I am drug free. I do not huff. I do not drink. I do not snort, shoot, smoke, any of these substances. So I am not an advocate for any of that kind of stuff. However, I think that during the press conference with Donald Trump, he's just an easy target. This man is just an easy little target. I think he was baited by the press. Huh? Oh, maybe. Who knows? At that age, I think we're all on all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'm on fiber and caffeine right at the moment. So, what can you say? But, I think the press baited him. He's an easy target. I don't think he's very quick-witted. To me, he's a dull individual. He happens to have good people that work for him. And once he's not a good employer. I don't believe that he's a good employer, because a good employer will keep an employee and let that employee grow in a position. And once you fail to produce with him, he is quick to fire people. Okay, let's see. A boil on humanity. I'm not quite sure what Rebecca means by that. And then during the Spanish flu, they found it beneficial to keep patients out in the sunlight. I believe that there is a lot of healing properties to sunshine. I think, number one, it's how I think, isn't vitamin K produced through sunshine?
Vitamin K?
I don't know. There's no such vitamin K, right? Vitamin D? Is that it? I don't know. I said I wasn't a scientist, damn it. But anyway, this conversation, it's funny because I sat there and I listened, and when he said that he was going to have people investigate, possibly ingesting or injecting, disinfectant, I thought, now that's a crazy little idea, that man needs some help. So for me, that was over the top. I felt that was really, truly over the top, So one of the things, too, that I'm really concerned about is a lot of us have been going kind of stir crazy. We've been isolating for considerable amount of time. I know the shelter-in-place order here in Los Angeles started about 6 weeks ago. And within week 5 to 4.5, it really took hold. Like all of the non-essential stores started to close down. Ross closed. A lot of these places started to close. It's becoming difficult. Thank God Target and Walmart are still open, because where's a girl to buy new panties at? And new, I mean, I'm a shopaholic, and thank God for Amazon, because really I try and go out as little as possible. But one of the things that I'm trying to negotiate here with this isolation, see, in my addiction, this isolation was simple. I had my dope, I had my booze, and I didn't want to talk to people anyway, and I certainly didn't want to talk to anybody that might want to get naked with me or want a sexual favor out of me or want me to lick or taste something. That was just not happening while I was trying to get high and enjoy myself. So isolation became a way of life, became easy, and became preferable. But see, in recovery, I went through a lot of therapy, and they told me, you got to come out of that shell, you've got to socialize, you've got to make friends, because your old friends, those drug addict friends, Those are no good friends. You need clean and sober friends. And so I built this network. And see, next month, May 12th, I turn 10. So for the past 10 years, I have been practicing these principles and these new habits in my life of socializing. And all of a sudden, here comes this little virus that throws a wrench into my program. What, what is everybody else doing? I'm crazy. So in my craziness, I decided to invite crazy out of my head and into the living room, and ta-da, the Bougie Duchess. Here she is. I talk to myself anyway, so I just turn on the camera and start chattering away. And all of a sudden, you guys showed up. Thank God. What a blessing. I love this. You guys have saved my life. I don't know what I would have done. And now, for some reason, here I am in full geesh in the middle of the day in my kitchen. Where the hell am I going? What the hell am I doing? What do I think is going on? I got to go to the grocery store later. They're going to look at me like I'm a lunatic. Well, guess what? I am. I've been declared 5150. This is no surprise. But I'm making it. And life is survivable. And I am interested and would love to know what you guys are doing. You can type it in. I read it out loud. Oh, Rebecca says it's vitamin D. I love Rebecca. Rebecca she responds. She's listening. She's participating. It's so much. I really need to reposition this somehow. Let's see if I can move it a little closer so I can see around things, maybe move it just a little bit. Okay. Poison control is already receiving more calls. Is that due to Donald Trump? Is that what you're saying? That old Donnie there has Boris, who's married to Natasha, has created a situation where they're receiving more phone calls. Poison control. Those little fuckers. He's a piece of shit. That's just my opinion, But it's okay. It's okay. There we go. I think that looks... Do I have it? Do I finally got it? Have I figured something out here? Who knows? It's all good. So... Such a small cup. Singer... Oh, okay. That's something... All of these messages keep popping up all around me, and it's hard for me to figure out if it's due to the Bougie Duchess or due to what. So...
Because, there's, a lot of different information, China right now, it's a trip because right now with China, with this coronavirus, their death rate is going down. Meanwhile, ours here in California, ours is going up. That tells you when it comes to leadership, how that is so important. It is important that we have true leadership when we're dealing with our lives. And that is why in November, Donald Trump has to be removed. How in the hell is it that China, they're going down and we're going up?
Wait. Now, okay, so this China thing has been out of control since last fall. And I'm going to tell you something about their leadership. They're communist, and their leadership was to keep quiet about it.
So they have reported no coronavirus-related deaths for 10 straight days. How is that possible?
I don't believe that. I don't believe anything out of it. This is what I believe out of a politician. This is the first thing I believe out of all politicians, okay? Must be a good liar. If you're not a good liar, you are not a politician. Period. That's what I believe out of politicians. I swear to God, that's what I think about all politicians. Serious. No matter how good they are, they've got to be able to double talk in such a way that they lie.
Yeah.
And I don't think just because they're Chinese, I don't think they're honest. I think that they run around and they're scandalous in their own little way. Come on, they were robbing Microsoft and what is the other one? Apple, all of their technology, and all of a sudden Huawei has got phones just like Apple. They copyrighted, infringed that stuff.
And then even that, another topic is that 30 New York households have reportedly ingested household cleaners since Donald Trump's controversial comment.
I can't comment on stupidity. Nor am I going to,
Yeah.
I would just hope that people would have enough common sense to know better than to do that. So, Robert Mora wants to talk about guys. What kind of guys do you want to talk about more, Mr. Mora? What topic is that? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure that's a hot topic at the moment. It might take a few minutes for him to respond. Oh, now he's laughing. I see. Okay. So I really do believe that communist, I wouldn't trust the communist regime. I don't even trust our government. I think that there's all kinds of, I try and stay away from the conspiracy theories. My assistant Alejandra told me that when this coronavirus happened, it was the government's way of collecting up all the pedophiles. And I said, well, shit, there's a whole ton of them living right here in this building. Haven't they gotten those? But, I just can't buy into a lot of, the he said, she said stuff, so I try and stay away from conspiracy theories overall. And I really cannot pay attention to our president because the sad truth about this individual is he blows so much smoke that when his lips are moving, he's lying. That's what I know about him. And you're right. This November, we need to make a change. It's just sad that I personally feel there is no good candidate. There's no viable candidate. I don't like any of them. And the one that I would like to run, she's not considering it. Which in my eyes is kind of sad, because I think she would be a kick-ass politician, And I'm not talking about Nancy Pelosi. She, for me, I'm not too crazy about her. She plays that sandbox game, and I don't care for it. I agree with you, Robert. Biden is probably our only hope at the moment. He's the lesser of the evils, which when I go into the voting booth, that's usually what I do, vote for the lesser of the evils. I don't know about Trump is going to win again. I don't appreciate that, Robert. That's some negative stuff. You better be careful now. You're going to pick a fight. I'm going to pull my hair off and I'm going to show you something.
Well, you know what? I was with Biden in the beginning, and I started to lose hope when the primary started, when people started voting. But when it came down through the South, it was really starting to be really clear about who the nominee was going to be. And I think that when it comes down to it, I'm tired of America being a fucking joke. So, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like right now we are a laughing stock, and it's just, enough's enough. And, we got to make sure that we're prepared for things like this. He went in there and dismantled the whole government. Now, I know a lot of people wanted Trump to go in there and blow things up, but we wanted them to at least put people back in there that when things like this happen, we can be prepared. We're totally unprepared for this.
Oh, I totally agree. The dismantling of the government that he did, the healthcare system deterioration, all of this is absolute proof that he dropped the ball. Number one, and I commented on this a long time ago. I think when you elect a leader, you should be electing somebody that has the ability to not only provide for today, but to look down to tomorrow and prepare for the disaster. That's what a leader is supposed to do. Okay? A leader is supposed to survey what's going on in the world and maybe even in outer space, because now, we've got other territories to start looking at. There could be a meteorite hurling towards the planet, and we've got technology that might be able to deflect that. And we need a president that's got enough vision that can prepare for all of that shit on all of those fronts. And not to mention, I'm going to tell you something about this planet. This planet was never built to sustain 8 billion in a population. Never was this planet built to sustain that. Any time in history, and you can look this up, whenever man's population crested above 4 million, that was usually the turning point. The Black Plague, the bubonic plague, the sweating disease. Oh, they have all kinds of things that came through history that wiped out half of mankind. Mother Nature, honey, you do not play with her. You want to know why COVID-19 is striking at such a way that we've never seen this bug before? Don't be surprised. Mother Nature is going to keep striking back. And as we keep deforesting the Amazon and all of these other jungly little areas, and we keep doing what we keep doing to this planet, and that ice cap keeps melting at the South Pole and the North Pole and releasing ancient bacteria, you watch. You watch. Things are going to get messy around here, honey.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Back in the olden days, people would polio. You know what? I grew up in the 60s. I grew up on the tail end of when they eradicated polio. But I still remember seeing people walking around in those leg braces, being in wheelchairs, unable to walk. This kind of stuff has just disappeared from America. People do not know you want to know why? Because of childhood vaccinations. And you got anti-vaxxers out there that say, oh, don't do it, don't do it. Let me tell you something. The complications to getting a vaccine certainly do not outweigh the complications of not being vaccinated. When you are not vaccinated, 4 out of 10 children don't make it. That is a 40% ratio. That is horrifying. That is Mother Nature at work. That is how Mother Nature kept mankind in check. Science has changed all of that for us. We got a little too smart for our own good, because now we survive and we pass that 4 million mark. We passed the 6 million mark. We passed the 1 billion mark, the 2 billion mark, the 3 billion mark, the 4, 5, 6, 7 billion mark. We are upon 8 billion. Never has this planet had this pop. There are more people alive today than have ever lived and died in history. Alive today than have ever lived and died in history. Imagine that. Imagine that. All because of science. And if we don't allow science to start implementing clean policies where we start using solar, electric, and natural gas and let this planet heal a little bit, we are going to be in for some real devastation. That's not me being psychic. That's me being educated. That is me understanding that when you hurt something bigger than you, it comes back with a vengeance.
You know, and which another thing that's happening is people are living longer.
Oh yeah,
You know,
science.
the
That's
population
science.
is getting bigger, but we're living longer. You know, people are living 100+ years. You know, I just talked to somebody in the 90s yesterday. I'm 91. You know, I'm like, we're living into 100. You know,
My girlfriend Carol, she's getting ready to turn 88
Yeah,
this September.
Betty White.
Oh my God, I love her.
Pleasure. So with that, also on top of it, with this whole pandemic that happened, it really, I know that we have Obamacare, we have all that, but the government has always told us that we just can't afford these type of things. You know what I mean? And it really, now that we are in this pandemic, a lot of times, how the hell are we pushing out $1,200 a month to every citizen? How is that possible? And we can't afford universal health care. They've always told us we can't afford this. But we can push out billions of dollars. You know, and I started thinking, I'm like, well, damn, how is it that we can't afford? How is it that everybody can't be insured? It doesn't make sense.
Oh,
Now,
Cindy, let me tell you something. $1,200, that is nothing. That is nothing. $1,200 barely covered my rent. That is absolutely nothing. You know, that means nothing. $1,200 that is just him. And you know, it slayed me. That was another thing I wanted to talk about in Hot Topics. Can you imagine? The Treasury Department has never put in the memo comments of their check something. Wait, let me be accurate about this. What did they put in the memo comments of that check about Donald Trump? Oh, let's see. All right, Treasury memo and check. Let's see, Treasury memo. Let's see if it pops up. All right, I think I have it here. Information. Oh gosh. Well, now I know why there's a delay in the stimulus check, because they have to print his name in the memo. But I'm trying to figure out.
I think that is so selfish and so
Yeah.
self-centered.
Well,
I've never
it's just.
been so selfish in my entire life.
It's so self-serving. He thinks that everybody's going to see that, and they're, oh, he helped me. He put $1,200 in my pocket. I'm going to vote for this fool.
No.
I think people, a simple thinker might think that way. You know, oh, $1,200. Oh, got to go to the bank. I got my money. There we go.
Yeah, like, no, like, who
Yeah.
cares when your bills are, you know what, when I get my paycheck, I never look at the person who signs it. I don't care.
Right. All I care is that it clears.
Yeah. If that check doesn't clear, I'm going to go round up everybody and we're going to find out what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care who fucking signs it.
True. Yeah.
You know, you could put Obama's name on it, and I still wouldn't care.
Yeah. Well, number one, a president doesn't sign a check, so I'm sure he was investigating into how he could do that. Listen, this man understands promotion. He understands marketing. I think if he understands real estate. I think if he could start renting out the bedrooms in the White House, he certainly would. You know, because that's the business he's in. You know, I just I'm not quite sure what he is thinking about or what he's planning for his retirement. You know, there is a term limit, thank God. You know, in the
All I
event.
know is he is up to something right now. Okay, he's too. I'm tired of like doing this. Is he stupid type stuff? No, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's up to something because he just passed this $340 billion bill for small businesses.
Sure.
He is doing something. He's getting money. One way or another, Trump is getting money. And he's trying to deflect us on this ingesting bleach type stuff. So we were like, oh my God. Oh, no. He's pocketing money some way, somehow. There's some shady dealings going on right now that we are so focused on Lysol and all this other fucking shit while he's in the back of the White House making sure the checks are cleared.
Well, okay. None of that I know. So you know, I really can't comment on that aspect. And I would like to think that the accounting department over there at the Treasury is a little bit tighter than that. But you know, hey, stupid is as stupid does. You never know. So
the Inspector General.
who knows? I could not begin to tell you, you know, how it's going down with him, you know. So all I know is that these are crazy times, and we are surviving the best way that we can. Hi, Joseph. How are you doing? Let me get back to my page because I'm not seeing things. There we are. There we are. Okay, so now I'm seeing everything again. But you know, we are living in such crazy times, and you know, it's there's this old saying. It's, you know, I think every politician in Washington is wagging the dog, and that's, you know, where they, you know, look over here, and something shady is going on over there. You know, like you don't know what's going on behind the screen that I have over here. There might be a big pile of dirty dishes, and you know, Alejandra hasn't shown up in days. And I'm just, thank God she'll be here tomorrow, you know. And here I am in the middle, you know, middle of the day. I've got my little hairpiece on. I've got my coif done. I've got my eyeliner and my lashes all painted. I'm sure Joseph appreciates all of that. You know, I've got my face painted. I've got my lips on, you know. So, but you know what I do need, what I haven't had a pedicure in 6 weeks, and these claws need to be done, you know? And so, and I've been dying to ask Alejandra if she would do them, but I'm afraid she would look at me and tell me that's where she draws the line, you know? Because I ask her to do so much for me. I really do, you know? And I count on her just tremendously. She's such a godsend, you know, but I don't know about doing the pedicure thing. I might be crossing a line there all of a sudden, you know. She might look at me and say, Franny, you've gone just a little too far, and I'm not touching your feet, you know. But they are pretty feet, you know. I always keep them really nice and everything like that. But like right at the moment, they've gotten, the toes are kind of long. I think you can hear me walking. You know, kind of like the dog. Click, 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 you know. It's just not cute. Yeah. Just not cute, you know. But I'm trying to keep up, you know, trying to keep up with the Calabassians. You know, I'm sure Kim Calabassian is getting her toes done. You know, so it is what it is. And old Bo there, he'll lick them every single time. He licks my toes. I tell him $50. I want $50 for that. He He just looks at me with those little puppy dog eyes. You know, he really has saved my life. That, I mean, between that and this little YouTube channel thing that I've been doing, it has really helped me through these rough moments. I am just so grateful because this social distancing. This is one of the hardest things. I mean, it would be a lot easier with some narcotics and some booze, and for me, that's just not an option today. My health can't take it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Every time I take Bo for a walk, and let me tell you something. This homeless encampment over here, I truly want to order like a baseball bat from Amazon, and it seems without fail at 3 o'clock in the morning, you hear them. Where do you find crack and crystal and all of these other drugs at 3? I thought you're supposed to be practicing social distancing. You're standing out on a corner selling dope. I just don't get it. What is going on with all of that? Hi, Bobby. Let me wave at Bobby. There we go. I don't, to me, it doesn't make sense. Where would you score this stuff at? Because when I walk the dog, the streets seem to be barren to me, except for this homeless encampment that's going on over here at Big Lots. And really, like right now, it's so hot that they're as quiet as can be because they're just laying over there, dehydrated, can't move, can't breathe, just, wasted, But then at 3 o'clock in the morning, for whatever reason, they did a good old hit or something like that. And I hear all of this screaming and yelling going on. And I sit up in the bed. And the first thing I want to do is I want to take the dog for a walk. Just go right around there with the dog. But I don't, and I won't. I just think I just think God that I'm not dealing with that lifestyle anymore. It catches me off guard because I get to sleep now. I do sleep now. What a wonderful gift that is. The simplistic fact that I am woken by drug addicts and alcoholics just remind me I should be living in a condo maybe 20 floors up. So I can't hear those fuckers. That's a solution right there, Just get elevated from, that's what I'm hoping for. Hi, Bobby. How are you? Good seeing you. Thanks for joining us. I try to respond to everybody that shows up and participates. I love that. I love seeing these little hearts and things floating up. Oh God, that makes me feel so good. It's just so sweet. It's my candy. Look at that. It's just floating everywhere. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Oh, yeah. So, but yeah, I think that we've covered a lot of the hot topics for today, and I'm grateful for the turnout. It was really nice. And hi, Yuli. How are you? Let me wave. So you're coming in on the tail end of our hot topics, but to recap everything, we were talking about landlords who ask for sexual favors instead of the rent, or from people that can't afford the rent. And I talked about some of my personal experiences with that situation. We also talked about ingesting disinfectant as a solution to coronavirus. No, not a good idea. Don't do that. That's a no. And then we segued into talking about we have an idiot for a fearless leader. He reminds me of Boris and his wife Natasha. And we need to elect Bullwinkle for the next president. Because only a moose and squirrel could take care of this situation. So, yeah, to me, the whole political scheme of things is just a cartoon. And then we segued into China and how they're reporting, allegations. We don't know, there's not real evidence, but they're reporting that they haven't had a new case in 10 days. And my family fled from Cuba, fled from communism. So I have a good idea just how closed-mouthed communists can be, And so, we segued into politics and my opinion about politicians. I believe that they're all liars. That's the first prerequisite of if you're not a liar, you can't be a politician. It just goes with the territory, And then then we went off on some other little tangent about Donald Trump, the delays in the stimulus checks because Donald Trump is having his name placed in the memo section. And so I looked online and it might be delayed until August. That's some shit. Thank God I got mine right away. Because I paid taxes. Yeah. I paid taxes and every time they direct deposit it, so there was no complication with me getting a stimulus check. So I was kind of grateful for that particular fact. That was really sweet, And that's the recap on what we talked about. And I really do enjoy this. I don't know. What would we call this? Would this be a podcast of some sort? My little hot topics situation going on here. The ramblings of a crazy woman from the edge of insanity. Is that the best way to describe what's going on here? The Toulouse of the Bougie Duchess. So I'm kind of sure that that's where I'm at, So life is good. Life is good. I hope you all have a fantastic day. And so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'd like to thank Cindy for participating in today's conversation. Thank you, Cindy. Would you like to say something in closing?
It's been I'm honored to have this experience, and that's pretty much it. Just thank you for allowing me to have this experience.
Thank you very much. Now, I will be taking this video and reposting it to my YouTube channel, just in case you missed the live event. It will be on my YouTube channel, and I have a playlist titled Hot Topics. Feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be sure to like us and follow us. And I've had a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for coming out and listening to the ramblings. And I appreciate it. Love you. Mwah. Bye now.